ये एक मंजिल है तो रास्ते भी होंगे और एक मेंटर भी जो मुश्किलों को आसान बना दे। नतीजे संयोग नहीं होते, दूसरों से बेहतर स्कोर होते हैं। GS Score, an institute for civil services.
Good career is a process, and mentoring at GS Score is driven by primarily two objectives. One is empowerment and another is excellence. This is what we are known for.
कामयाबी की राह पर 1000 से भी ज्यादा निशान। GS Score.
Hi, this is Devipriya Ajith. I have secured All India rank 573 in the recent Civil Service exam 2022. So in this video, I am going to explain about the strategies I have adopted for General Studies papers preparation. Actually, this was my 6th attempt and my 4th mains. So in this attempt, I have made a significant improvement in my mains marks, especially in subjects like ethics. I have improved my marks from around 70 in my first attempt to 114 marks. And also in the General Studies paper 2, I have improved my marks from around 80 to 108. So I will tell what are the method of preparation that I have used, how I did the value addition to my answers, how I handled myself in the exam hall, and how I prioritized my studies. First, I will talk about the method of study that I have adopted. As I was working in the Kerala High Court during my preparation, and last year I was also selected for Forest Service. So I didn't have time for a good mains preparation due to attending the medical and walking test and all. So in this very limited time, I had to prioritize my mains preparation. So what I did was, I did studying of only quality content based on analysis of the previous year questions. For example, if we say, if we take geography, I divided geography into different subheadings like resource geography, human geography, economic geography, geomorphology, oceanography, like that. And I have written the past 10 years UPSC questions on this. And based on this, I have analyzed which are the topics that I have to give more importance. An example that I could say is, if we see geography, we can see every year there are questions based on water related themes like irrigation, wetland conservations, etc. So on these topics, I made answers on a question answer pattern itself. Like, I will prepare answers on 250 words limit. In that, I will prepare all the diagrams, maps related to it, and if there are any related government schemes or state level initiatives, I will also note it down, and I will also note some value added points from current affairs. So in this way, I prepared my notes and I revised it. So the next thing I have to talk about is how I did value addition for my answers. Value addition is something that make our answers very unique and stand out from the crowd, and it will also convince the evaluator to put more marks for our answer. So if I talk about value addition, if we go through each subject of the general studies, first we could take general studies paper 1. In that we have history. So in history, we could add maps and timelines. And what I did was, there will be some movements. For example, if we take Gandhian movements, it has take part in different parts of India. So in any answer related to that, I will draw map of India and I will label all these movements in which all parts they have happened. And also in some questions, I will add timelines, the chronological order in which the events have happened. So it will help to fill the space as well as look our answer a little bit different from others, and it will add more marks to us. Next is regarding geography. For geography, as everyone knows, maps are very important, and we should know how to draw the map of India as well as world within 10 to 15 seconds. So as I have spoke earlier, for every subheadings under geography, I have prepared maps, like for economic geography, different industrial corridors of India, industrial regions of India. Then for resource geography, like where the mineral and metal resources are available. Like that, I have plotted all these things in map already. So whenever there is a question related to that, we can write it. And for geography, we can also include case studies from the current examples. Next is society paper. what we have to do in society paper is that we should add more dimensions to the questions asked. For an example, if there is a question on how globalization has affected the old age population in India, we could add many dimensions like how globalization has positively affected, how it has negatively affected, and in addition to this, we can write about the future old age population in India, because the future old age population will be more tech savvy. So, how globalization can affect old age population in the future. In that way, we can diversify our points and write answers for society. And next is paper 2. In paper 2, polity is an important subject with more mark weightage. And for every polity answers, it is very important to quote the related Supreme Court judgments. For example, if there is some question regarding the flexibility or rigidity of the constitution, we can add the Keshavananda Bharati case of 1973 related to basic structure. And it is also important to add any committee recommendations or the articles in the constitution. For example, if a question of sedition is asked, we can write article 19 related to freedom of speech, Kedarnath Singh case, like that. Next is governance. In governance, we could mention the second administrative reform commission report or other committees like Punji committee, Sarkariya committee, and we can quote the related current affairs examples, etc. Also, we could draw many diagrams, flowcharts in the governance section. If there is any state-based schemes that are important, some governance initiatives, we could also mention it. For example, the schemes from our government. And for example, in my state, there is Kudumbasri mission related to self-help groups, etc. So such things we could add. And related to social justice, it is always better to add more statistics and the recent government schemes and make it look more illustrations. Because in paper 2, there is less scope for illustrations, like in polity and all, we cannot draw it. Next is regarding international relations. In international relations, we should answer to the point, to the question that is asked. Sometimes we may lack points. In that case, we could add some maps or diagrams. For example, if a question on RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, is asked, we could draw on a world map which are the RCEP countries and which is the trade route that is going to come, like that. And also we could mention any recent international summits or international dialogues that has been taken place. Next, when we come to paper 3, we have ample scope for doing many illustrations, pictures, diagrams, etc. So next is regarding paper 3. Paper 3, we have ample scope for many illustrations. In paper 3, if we go to economics, we could quote important words from the recent economic survey, and we could add many flowcharts, diagrams, etc. Usually for the economics, for long mark questions, they will ask many subparts. So we need to answer all that subparts with more diagrams like flowcharts, any graphs that is mentioned in the economic survey, we could add that to show the recent trend of economy, like that. And next, if we come to disaster management, we could write state level initiatives. For example, the cyclone early warning system of Odisha, like that we could mention. And also we could plot the disasters, how they vary regionally in different parts of India. Next, if we come to science and tech or environment, we could write many current examples, state-based case studies and all for this paper. And if we come to paper 4 ethics, we should have already prepared definitions for each and every term that is mentioned in the UPSC syllabus of GS paper 4. And it is always better to have examples of different level, like examples from history, examples from current affairs, and also our personal level examples regarding each terms of ethics. um, for example, if we consider the word integrity, we should know what is the definition of integrity, and we could quote an example from history, like how B.R. Ambedkar resigned from the first Indian ministry, like that. It is an example of his integrity, like that we should be able to quote it. And regarding case studies of ethics, we should be able to identify the different stakeholders. And nowadays, the UPSC case studies of ethics is becoming more and more lengthy, and there are more subparts that we need to answer. So it is always better to answer all the questions. We should give more focus on quantity of the answer, such that we should be able to answer all the questions within the given time of ethics. So next I will talk about the prioritization of study. So first we should analyze the time and the resources that are available with us, and based on that we should prioritize our study. In my case, as I said, I did my civil service and forest service preparation while I was working. I had very limited time, and also there are many resources that are available online, and it is not necessary that we should read it all. So what I did was that I prioritized each paper, and within that paper I prioritized the subjects also. So I gave more focus to optional paper because if we are people who are studying on an average level, and if we attend test series, in some years the pattern may change, or some paper may go many difficult, like that happens to general studies. So if we give more focus to optional, it would be better, as in most cases optional will be a decision maker of our total score and chances of selection. So I dedicated more time for optionals once the prelims result have came. And regarding the general studies, within the GS, I gave more focus to ethics paper. This is because if I have a good understanding of ethics, I could also attend the essay paper with more confidence. Because nowadays the essays mostly they are philosophical. So the inputs of ethics would help me to answer the essay paper more properly. And when come to other JS papers, I identified which topics had more weightage. For example, if we go for GS1, based on the number of questions asked out of the 250 marks, we can see that geography has more weightage. Same applies to polity in paper 2 and economy in paper 3. So based on this, I prioritized the time that I dedicated for the GS preparation. Next thing is regarding time management and how to write answers in the exam hall. Regarding time management, there is 250 marks and 3 hours time that is available with us. So what I did was that I will write answers for at least 80 to 90 marks questions in within an hour. I will first start with those questions that I know well. No matter whether it is 10-mark question or 15-mark question, I will begin with those questions that I know the answer well, and from that I proceed to those I don't know well. Because in UPSC we need to answer all the questions if we need to get selected. So I kept a target of I will attend 80 to 90 marks questions within an hour. One of the advantage of this method is that sometimes UPSC may change the marking pattern, because before 2017, I think it was 12.5 mark questions, 20 questions of 12.5 marks each. So there are some chances, but if we divide it in such a way that we will attend questions of 80 to 90 marks within an hour, there is no problem even if the marking pattern is changed. Next is regarding answer writing. So sometimes it may be a single question, or sometimes a question may have different subparts. So we should give equal weightage to both the subparts of the question. For example, if it is a 250 mark question, if there are two subparts, we should write 125 words each for both the subparts. And when we address a question, the three things that we have to notice: there will be a core part for a question, and there will be a question word or directive, and there will be a limitation. For example, if there is a question like what are the recent e-governance initiative taken by different state governments of India? So here the question word is what are or what. Sometimes question word may be critically analyzed or explained like that. So we should notice the question word and put it in a box. Then regarding the keywords, keyword is the core word is the e-governance initiatives. So we have identified the core or the keyword of the question. Then there will be some limitations. In this question it is asked like in different states of India. So that is the limitation. We should not only write about the e-governance initiative, but we should write about the initiatives in different states of India. Like that, we should decipher each and every questions that is asked by UPSC. So this is a good method for writing our answers. And as said above, we should add each value addition for different subjects of the General Studies paper. So this is all about. Hope it will be useful for all of you. Thank you.